Hey, welcome to World Entertainment. And last year, what came out but the first Predator movie under Disney to be on the big screen? And unfortunately for them, it absolutely bombed. Actually cost the studio, or I should say lost the studio, upwards of $80 million. And of course the question was, well, what do they do now? Because yeah, they put Prey out, and Prey, for all intents and purposes, was a success, even though you're pretty much taking Disney's word for that. But then, of course, they put out the follow-up, which wasn't actually a sequel to that movie, but kind of is. It's still connected to it, which was the animated movie Killer of Killers, which they've never really said how well that did or even how poorly that did. But then, of course, the first brand new live action Predator movie to be put on the big screen was Badlands. And the reaction from everybody when they saw it was, oh, you made Predator for girls. Well, the future of the franchise is definitely now in question, because Dan Trachtenberg, the guy behind all three of those Predator movies, yeah, he's just jumped ship. He's no longer going to work with Disney, apparently, because he's just signed a deal with Paramount. Now, there's two things to take away from this. Is one, what does it mean for Predator? And two, what the hell is Paramount thinking? You've just seen the guy put a like $100 and something million movie on the big screen, and it lost the studio $80 million. Why would you give this guy a contract? But let's have a look at this. So, and of course, this brings into question now of what's happening with Prey 2 then, and what's happening with his plans to bring Dutch back and all of this type of stuff. So it's saying anyway, the future of the Predator franchise at Disney is in serious question due to the theatrical failure of Badlands. Now it's learned that director Dan Trachtenberg has moved on from Disney and has signed with Paramount. The details include that despite directing one of the biggest sci-fi flops of the year, last year that is of course, Predator Badlands director Dan Trachtenberg has landed a 3-year first look deal with Paramount Plus. So that's important as well to know that it's a first look deal. So they're like big deals when you get those. So as reported by THR, Trachtenberg and his producing partner Ben Rosenwald will develop, direct and produce new feature films for the studio. The deal marks a return to Paramount for Trachtenberg, who debuted with 10 Cloverfield Lane in 2016. I did like 10 Cloverfield Lane. The ending is absolutely 100% shoehorned in there, which was orders basically from J.J. Abrams, because he wanted to make that movie a part of the Cloverfield story. Because 10 Cloverfield Lane was never about Cloverfield. In fact, the movie was never even called 10 Cloverfield Lane. It was called The Bunker. And then because J.J. Abrams demanded basically, no, shoehorn in this stupid ending with the aliens to make it a part of the Cloverfield thing, they changed it to 10 Cloverfield Lane. So that dog shit ending was thanks to J.J. Abrams. Rest of the movie was great though. John Goodman was fantastic in that movie. So worth pointing out is that contrary to THR's BS, which is this is going on that they said it was a massive hit, Badlands that is, Predator Badlands was not a success, and definitely not the highest grossing entry in the 38-year franchise. By the way, that's another thing they kept trying to pump. Not just THR, but everyone was trying to say, it's earned more money than the first Predator movie, it's a massive success. And it's like, no, because when you adjust for inflation and stuff, it didn't come close to what the original Predator did. So the film ended theatrical run with domestic 91 million, internationally 93.4 million, worldwide 184.4 million. The movie likely lost close to $80 million theatrically after accounting for its production budget, marketing and distribution cuts. That's not a hit, that's a franchise killing disaster. And it really is, because let's put it this way, okay? Let's paint the picture for anyone that's going to try and deny, oh no, it's not that bad of a deal. You know what else lost upwards of 80 million and made the studio completely change the direction they were going in? The 2016 Ghostbusters. If you remember, they put that out. It bombed. It cost Sony upwards of 80 million, and they pivoted right back to do an actual Ghostbusters 3. And that ended up getting a sequel as well. So if you think, oh well, it's only 80 million, they're not going to really care about it. Yeah, you're definitely going to care. So THR and many outlets tried spinning Badlands as a franchise high point. The numbers say otherwise. Adjusting for inflation, several prior Predator and Alien vs Predator entries outperformed it by a wide margin. And that's the other thing they kept trying to push, was that it earned more than AVP, until you adjust for inflation and you go, oh, it destroys it. And they have all the numbers here. So AVP in 2004 brought in 177.4 million, which today is 437 million. Predator in 87 brought in 98.2 million. Today is 278 million. 169 million in domestic alone. AVP Requiem in 2007 brought in 130.3 million. Today, 202 million. The Predator in 2018 brought in 160.5 million. Today, that's 205 million. And Predators in 2010 brought in 127.2 million, which today is 187 million today. The only movie that they didn't list on there is Predator 2, which I think is interesting. So Badlands sits outside the top 5 in adjusted franchise earnings. Its performance was underwhelming both in raw and adjusted numbers. So there's currently no Badlands sequel or new Predator movie in the works at Disney. And with Badlands failing to generate audience interest domestically or internationally, where it absolutely died, Disney is likely moving the IP back to streaming. The previously teased AVP crossover now appears dead in the water, which now makes sense due to Trachtenberg bailing on Disney. Trachtenberg also directed Prey and Killer of Killers, the anime. And this is the thing that I brought up before, especially in the reviews for that movie, is it was a lose-lose for people. Because if this version of Predator, the kiddie-friendly, when I went to see it, there was a bunch of kids in the cinema, because, yeah, that's what you want when you're watching your Predator movies, kids. But they Disney-fied it. If it did incredibly well and was this mega hit, the issue is you would have them continuing the franchise in the vein of this movie, and that's not what you want. Other side of that coin is what happened. It flopped, which means they're just going to push it back to streaming, so they're not going to see it as a viable entity to put on the big screen. And that is not what you want your Predator franchise to be. You don't want Predator to be a streaming exclusive on Disney Plus. It's like, really? Is that the world we're living in? The best scenario that could come from Disney owning both Alien and Predator, it's something I said years ago when they bought the bloody Fox, was to friends and stuff. I said the best thing they could do is sell those two IPs. Not just because it'll earn them extra cash, but because they are the absolutely wrong people to be in control of it. And all you have to do now is, again, Prey. It's a mixed reaction from people. Critics loved it, but it was a mixed reaction to it. It still did quite well, supposedly anyway. At least it charted in the like Samba numbers and all that type of crap, so it did do well enough. Killer of Killers, nobody talks about. And for the majority of people who did watch it, they didn't particularly enjoy it. But Badlands absolutely tanked. Alien Romulus, people's reaction to that was very mixed as well. And it just about broke even. But Alien Earth has been outright panned by the audience. Again, critics love it, but audience love it. Their handling of these IPs is terrible. Their best option would be to just sell it, but obviously they don't, because they think now, well, now we've got two big IPs that can just generate content for our streaming service, because that's all they're going to treat it like now. They're not going to try and invest actual time and effort into making good stories that people really want to see. They're simply going to go, well, it's just going to be content now for our streaming service. Well done, Dan Trachtenberg. You've managed to kill the Predator franchise. You brought it back and you killed it at the same time. Well done. So, with that, what do you guys think? Did you enjoy Badlands? What do you think about Alien or all this stuff? Do you think the best option for those things to survive would actually be to be sold to someone else? What do you think about Dan Trachtenberg, more importantly, walking away and getting a 3-year first look deal with Paramount? Let me know. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and all that good stuff. Cheers, and I shall catch you in the next one.